Welcome everybody. Today is pretty cool because I get to chat with one of my clients and now a good pal of mine. So Andrew from Scotland's done a great job with us. So Andrew is actually a personal trainer himself, so he's quite knowledgeable already, but really wanted to, fine tune his diet and his nutrition and really get his body fat into a place where, that he's happy with, but also, to really understand his own body in good detail as well. So welcome, Andrew. Thanks for doing this with me, mate.
No worries, Matt. Thank you.
Cool. Yeah. So basically, mate, I want to just help people, understand kind of your story and, what process that you've gone through. And then we'll just talk a little bit about your results as well, buddy, what sort of results you've had with us. And then at the end, mate, we'll just talk about what, give some advice to everybody listening that, will be valuable to them as well. So we'll start off with this, mate. Help me understand. Obviously, we started working together. I was just looking, it was like August time when we first started, a little bit before that. So talk to me a little bit about what problems you was experiencing, because obviously you're quite a knowledgeable dude yourself already, right? You're a personal trainer and all that. What were some problems that you were experiencing before we started working together, mate, would you say?
The biggest issue was obviously sticking to a diet, because there's loads of diets out there. So tried quite a few of them just to like drop body fat, drop weight, gain weight, kind of mostly it was to drop that body fat, but it just never seemed to go. Anytime, any weight, any diet I tried, it was always body fat would stay the same. Weight would increase or decrease when I wanted it to, but couldn't get rid of the body fat.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. So mainly just being able to stick to something like long enough to get the body fat down, essentially. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Because with the other diets, days where there was a heavy training session or, work got in the way, I'd eat quite a lot more, and then it's like, all that good that I've done in the diet's gone because because you're limiting yourself to what you're eating. But they changed to coming to you and getting a bit more advice and just eating almost normal, not thinking, I can't have those carbs, I can't have that treat, I can't have this, I can't have that, and then coming to you and saying, well, you know what, actually I can have that.
Yeah. It's just more about managing it, right? Just more about managing it properly and knowing how that's related to the amount of food that your body can handle, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the most important part that a lot of people miss is, this is all in relation to how much food your body can handle, right? And then we'll just have to do that bit of trial and error up front to figure out what your body's like. And then, once we've got that, it's actually quite a simple process, as you'll realize now. I feel like most people just completely overcomplicate things, and I did the same when I was younger, right? So cool. So we know what sort of problems you're experiencing beforehand, mate. And then what has it kind of been like, working with me, working, with the other guys in this group and things like that? Because obviously straight away you went through all the videos, and you put a bit of time in going through all that stuff to understand. And you actually went the majority of the way just from watching the videos, right? And then, you came up against a couple of other problems, then you come on the coaching calls and things like that. So help people understand, what it's been like just working with us and just having somebody there to guide you.
No, it's been really good, because not just yourself, obviously, your knowledge has been great because it's helped. It's helped me lose everything I wanted to lose and more. But just coming on the calls with the other guys and, seeing that most of us have the same issues, like the same problems. Like you say, I lost quite a lot quite quick, and then I kind of like almost plateaued a bit.
Yeah.
And then just coming onto the call and, getting a bit demoralised and so thinking, what am I doing wrong? Do I need to eat less? I don't think I can eat because I'm, I've already got less calories as it is. And then with the other guys coming on saying, actually, I'm having that same issue.
Yeah.
What do we do here? And then, and then you coming on and saying, have a high day or a couple high days.
Yeah.
And you're thinking straight away, thinking, but if I have a high day, is that not going to just take away all the good that I've done?
Yeah.
But throw on that one high day and the weight starts coming down again and the body fat just disappears. It's been great.
Yeah. Yeah, no, which is actually, for everybody watching, it's actually a really important thing to understand. So there's just a big tendency that, like, if you ever come to like a plateau with your diet, or in what we call a fat loss phase, right, where you're trying to reach a specific body fat goal, the tendency is to then to just try and start dropping more calories, right, to try and start dropping more and more food. But it's not ever that straightforward. Like, with metabolism, is such a dynamic thing, and it's not always about just bringing calories further and further down. Which happens to a lot of people. But yeah, I think with you, mate, I just kudos to you for just putting the work in, like, putting the effort in, doing the majority of the work yourself. And then once it came to the point of like, right, I need to ask Matt some questions, you come on the coaching calls, and that's a big part of what I try and do, is because as humans, we all learn through each other, right? We're social beings, we're social creatures. So if you can get that dynamic where you just, like you said, you'll hear one person say something and be like, oh yeah, like that's the same problem that I'm experiencing. And then you just learn at a rapid pace that way. So yeah, kudos to you, mate. Obviously, at the end of the day, you've got to do the work, right? Like I say to everybody on the first call, like, you've got to do the work. I'll guide you. I'll give you all the knowledge that you're ever going to need to, get down to whatever body fat levels you want, right? But the drive has to come from you. And, you've more than done that, mate. So good on you for doing that, bud. So share with everyone what sort of results you have had, mate, in terms of, your body fat. 'Cause I know you were telling me before about how, for you, it's just been mainly about body fat, right? It's not been particularly about weight, although we do measure that, and we do want to keep a lookout for that, because, if you lose, let's say you lose 3, 4, 5% body fat, like, you are going to be lighter, on the scales, for example, like, you will be lighter. So share with everyone, mate, like, what you've managed to achieve body fat wise.
So weight wise, first I started at 85 kilo.
Yeah.
I felt like I looked all right. I felt strong. Now down to 76 kilo, still feel as strong, feel much lighter.
Nice.
Things like getting up in the mornings, a completely different ball game for me now. Whereas before it was a bit tired. Now it's like,
excited to get up.
Go. And then body fat, give or take, obviously, because it was only the scales I've used. They reckon they're quite accurate. So I started about 21%, and now I'm down to 14, just almost under 14. So
nice. Yeah, because I remember you saying your initial goal, if you could get down to 15, a bit below that, like, you'd be more than happy with that, right?
Just with your coaching and things like, being consistent with the track, and like you always say, I got down to 15% without really trying, without thinking, oh, I can't have that, I can't have this. I ate what I wanted when I wanted. It didn't really stop me doing anything, but just like you say, tracking, thinking, right, that's my 2,200 calories for the day. I'm happy, I'm full. Thank you for the massive.
Yeah, no, of course, dude. Of course, mate. It's been great. I always enjoy, especially people like yourself, mate, who have got that knowledge base already, but then it's just about fine tuning things. Like, it's really good to see the progress, and you know me, right? Like, I take full responsibility. Like, when somebody's a client of mine, I'm like, right, if this guy's putting the effort in, like, I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And, I really, want people to do well. And you've done incredible, mate. So for everyone listening, mate, tell people and help people explain, like, why our program's different to, the typical thing that you'll see out there, would you say?
The main thing, and I think the only thing you should really take away from it, is that although it seems like you're dieting, it's not a diet, whereas before, not any other diet out there restricts something, whether it's fat or whether it's carbs. there's always something it takes away. But, you know, watching your videos and coming onto the calls and listening to the other guys, it doesn't take anything away. You know, you find your own calorie range, and it doesn't matter how you make those calories up.
Yeah.
As long as as long as you're sensible and you're counting them, tracking them, and a bit of exercise here or there.
Yeah. Which is a big thing, right? So like when anybody, and by the way, I used to do the same thing when I was like 18, 19. A big thing when you say to anybody, talk about dieting to anybody, is just the first thing you think about is like restriction and just feeling terrible all the time, and and it being this like horrendous thing that you've got to like try and go through. When the reality of it is once we get a good understanding for your body, right? So everybody's got that slightly different metabolism. Some people can eat 3,000-4,000 calories a day. Some people can only eat 1,700 calories a day, right? So once you've found that sweet spot like you have, and strength's still high and energy levels still through the roof, then it's actually quite a simple process, right? It's just about doing the day-to-day execution of it, just consistently, just hitting those numbers every day. And then it's just inevitable that your body fat's going to come down over time, like it has to do, so cool, mate. So really cool story. So just to finish this call off then, mate, give people, let's say somebody, has never really quite achieved the body shape that they wanted. They've never managed to get, below 15% body fat, for example. Like give somebody, one or two pieces of advice that, after going through the process, plus the stuff that you already know as well, give them like one or two pieces of advice that you think could be massively beneficial for them.
I think for men, just in general, asking for help's one thing we won't do. So the biggest piece of advice is don't be afraid to ask for help, regardless of your knowledge. Like you say, I come from a personal trainer background, so I kind of knew a lot of stuff. But coming on and working with you and listening to the other guys' stories, I've learned so much more than I have in any other book I've read. So biggest piece of advice is don't be afraid to ask for some help, regardless of your knowledge, because there's always something to learn.
Yeah, 100% agree, mate. And I tell people all the time, like one of the biggest things that I wish I'd have started doing from an earlier age was like working with people, like knowledgeable people, not just anybody, like people who actually know what they're doing in any sort of sector. Like I'm a nutrition guy, right? But I have my own nutritionist looking at my stuff. I have my own psychologist. Sure. Do you know what I mean? Like So
and, on, sorry, just another piece of advice is don't believe everything you read on like Facebook or Instagram or anything like that. There's a lot of stuff that works for other people, but like you say, finding your own sweet spot is the main goal there. As soon as you find that, you can stay as lean as you want all year.
Agreed. Yeah, no, that's awesome, mate. So well, thanks so much for doing this, mate. I appreciate you taking time to do it. And everybody watching, I hope this has been helpful for you. And we'll chat to you in a bit. All right, bye-bye.
Thank you.